Hey, how's it going, you guys? Welcome to Countess Escape. We are playing as a fortune teller who is giving some advice to a prince who seems to have lost his princess, or something along those lines. But anyways, this is a game by Yaryan Kune. I'm not going to pronounce that right, but this is their first game, and I'm going to give it a try. So let's go ahead and start. The tent appears to be fairly lit and spacious with a crystal orb, candles, and a ceramic tea set placed over a crimson-colored table. You, the owner, goes inside and sits parallel to the table to wait for your unexpected guests that may desire consultation. If y'all don't mind, I might turn up the volume just a little bit because I'm not hearing anything. Hopefully that's a little bit better. For some reason, the thought that this place needs some changes and its embellishments comes into your mind. Usually the space has enough room to breathe and move around, but today it feels very cramped to you. Meh, maybe I just need to drink some tea to make myself at ease. You've grabbed the teapot and poured it into your cup. As you are drinking from the cup, a stranger rushes and enters the tent. Pardon me, but if you've seen a young woman with long blonde hair, I must know where she is. Okay, so I know there's two endings for this game, so we're going to try to get both. So we'll go ahead and save here. This is probably one of them. What happens next? Do we spit the tea in your mouth on him, or swallow the tea in your mouth first? Those are two very extreme options. You accidentally spit the tea we're just drinking on him. Son of a... Why do I need to chase after that woman when I'm a prince, for God's sakes? I am terribly sorry. I was overwhelmed by your sudden appearance. It was not my intention to. It's fine. I must apologize properly for my disrespectful action. Apology accepted. However, it is also my lack of manners for not introducing myself first. I am Gilbert, the second prince of the Moran Kingdom. The people nearby claim that they have witnessed her running towards this area. I require the whereabouts of Lady Madeline, the daughter of Count Edkins. I don't know how you're supposed to get each ending. Do we just pick the first option? I can pick the second ones? Now we're gonna lie to him. I think I saw her nearby earlier when I was taking a walk outside. She was also accompanied by a tall person. Do you know who that person might be? Where did you see her? Unfortunately, Your Highness, the person was wearing a cloak and I didn't see who that might be. And? They might have left with a horse. I see. I must go now. I can still catch up to them quickly if I summon my men and gather some horses. The prince turns around and walks towards outside. Chasing a fox blindly is not a wise action, Your Highness. What did you just say? Chasing a fox blindly is not a wise action? Is that the finest phrase you could come up with? I guess that's to be expected by the person who lacks manners and spitted water on me. Aren't you in a hurry, Your Highness? My wisdom doesn't come with clever metaphors, you see. If your wisdom says that it's not wise for me to chase after that woman, what alternative do your wisdom suggest? You shrug as you spread your arms out. I may not look like it, but I can offer my assistance to you. You lean in towards him as you whispered. Maybe we can acquire a clue on where your woman is by letting me read your future. There is no need for you to be so close to my face, and that person is not my woman. Well, used to be, but not anymore. All I'm saying is that if you let me read your future with my ability, you may be able to do the right thing. It's what I do. You know, I'm kind of a fortune teller. I tell your fortune, your future, in a way. His Highness has nothing to worry about. I'm an expert on predicting things and guessing the unforeseen events. I've been guessing my entire life, and look where I am now. I cannot waste any more time. I have to go. Take care. The prince will always be welcomed whenever he desires to consult me. The prince turns around and walks towards outside. I do enjoy visitors, but some alone time is very much appreciated. Silence sets foot inside the place. Still, even after the prince left, there is still something bothering you with your surroundings. Should I look at my surroundings or sing a song? I have no idea which choices are going to end up to a different ending. Hopefully I can get both of them. You examine the area from left to right. Nothing seems to be unusual, except for a fabric that is quite unfamiliar to you. You move closer to the table. Curiously, you grab the unfamiliar fabric below the table, but it isn't pulling out. You try pulling harder. It is too early for you to go under my skirt, darling. You quickly create distance from the table as you are surprised to hear a woman's voice. What the heck? Where did you come from? She was just hiding under my table. Wait, how long have you been hiding under the table? Oh, darling, long enough for you to not notice. Woman hiding in my table with long blonde hair. You're that woman the prince was looking for. And you're the person who spitted on the prince's face. That is indeed me. That was quite amusing. I must try that myself as well. It was not my intention to do such a thing, especially to the prince. I don't have to explain myself to you. You are Lady Madeline, aren't you? My, just because I was hiding under your table, you accuse me? Darling, many women in this country have come with golden locks of hair such as mine. You hiding on such a cramped place is enough for me to be suspicious of you. But you aren't really an angel yourself. You just lied to the prince and told him you saw me with some stranger escape from this area. That, my darling, makes you my accomplice. So you are Lady Madeline. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm gonna be honest, I already started saying maybe not before I even read the next line, because I just thought that's what she would say. But if I were to be found escaping from your tent, you would also be guilty for helping me escape. We'll both be locked up together. That would be amusing as well, but I would still like my freedom, darling. I'm not going to prison with you. Then we both want the same thing, darling. What did you even do to the prince? Why is he pursuing you? Why don't you humor me and guess? You even told the prince you were quite exceptional at guessing. I didn't say I was exceptional. Darling, no need to be modest. Guess. Your interest in me seems to be quite a lot, but I'm also interested in what you think of me. I am not interested in you. You really are quite charming with your retorts. Just tell me, why are you hiding from the prince? I'll decide whether to help you escape or not. Then guess. What is your guess? The Countess had an affair with someone while she was engaged to the prince, or the Countess did something awful that humiliated the prince's reputation. I think you had an affair. Did you? I know my looks are quite charming, but that isn't quite close to what happened. But it is true that the engagement had been cancelled for another reason, darling. The engagement was only arranged by our families anyways. He can find another suitable partner who will bow down to him. If you didn't have an affair, what did you do? The whole story is quite long, but to keep it short, I'm being accused of something I didn't do. Accused of something you didn't do? Then why are you hiding and trying to escape? Too many questions, darling. Explaining myself to them didn't work. So I ran away. You didn't answer me. What are they accusing you of? The Countess took a pause as she looks away. Why don't you ask that to the prince himself? What? I think I can hear him talking to his men nearby. You have to keep me hidden. Are you sure? He just left to search for you. I'm quite sure he's really nearby. Make sure he doesn't find me. Don't stare while I'm on all fours, darling. Countess crawls back under the table. I don't think it's a good idea to hide under there. The Countess is completely hidden under the table. Just make sure you don't make yourself look suspicious. It's not like I have a choice in the matter. Choice about what? Whoa, where did you come from? From the entrance? Right, what are you doing here, Your Highness? Who are you just talking to? Oh, I was just talking to myself. It's what I do. Pretty unusual, I know. Right. I didn't expect that His Highness would be coming here. Is there something wrong? You told me I can ask for your assistance regarding my search for Lady Madeline, did you not? Oh, yes, I have said that, Your Highness. I didn't expect it to be this soon. I realized that you were right, and so I have deployed my men to search while I look for answers on where she might be. That way I'm not wasting time and I can still get an upper hand against that woman. So you would let me use my ability on you? I would appreciate it if you start right now. Okay, have a seat first. The prince sat down on the chair near the table. Your eyes widen as you can see the prince's legs are very close to where the Countess is hiding. Pardon me, but can you move a tiny bit farther away from the table? You grab the chair of the prince while he was sitting on it and drag it away at a distance where his legs can't accidentally touch the Countess. There, being too close to the crystal ball blocks my visions. I didn't assume that you are this strong. For you to carry me with this chair, I'm very impressed. I usually travel alone. No one is going to carry my things for me, so I guess that's why I can carry you, Your Highness. I see. Would you like some tea? I need you to be calm in order for our session to bear fruit. Don't worry, I have a spare cup for my guests. Then I would like a cup, please. As you are pouring the tea on his cup, your curiosity grows immensely. While I prepare for our session, may I ask what Lady Madeline has done to you? She didn't do anything to me, but that woman stole the royal jewels of the kingdom. She did what? As you were dumbfounded by what the princess said, the tea that you are pouring on the cup overflows. The tea. Oh right, I'm sorry. You quickly wipe the excess tea that has spilled on the surface of the table. May I ask if you saw her steal those jewels? I mean, a daughter of a count is already wealthy enough. Wouldn't a servant or a lower class be more suitable to be suspected of stealing? No one really saw her steal anything, but every time we see her go to the area where the jewels were hidden, a jewel suddenly disappears. We didn't suspect her at first, too, and tried to find the culprit among the castle's servants. But every time she visits, even if we place one of the royal jewels hidden at a different area of the castle, a jewel still goes missing. Until today, the last royal jewel was kept hidden on a different place, and after she had visited the castle, we quickly checked and it was already gone. The coincidence is too uncanny, and it only points at Lady Madeline as the main culprit. We asked her to surrender herself and the royal jewel she stole, but she denies it of her crimes. Once we gather proof of her stealing, she will be severely punished. But as to her reaction now, her hiding and trying to escape only makes her guilty. Knowing that she may be the culprit, I immediately declared an official cancellation of our engagement, as she no longer qualifies to be my wife. This seems a bit too strange. Lady Madeline said she was wrongly accused, but the prince claims her to be the only suspect for the missing jewels. It would be wiser if I don't pick any side yet and gain more information first. Why have you become so quiet? Oh, I was just preparing myself for our session, Your Highness. So, do you agree with me that Lady Madeline is guilty? I cannot disagree to a noble, especially to the prince. What does that mean? Does my position as the second prince bother you? No. It is not up to me, a mere peasant, to decide whether someone is guilty or not, Your Highness. So you do disagree, I see. I didn't say that I disagree. I'm just a peasant. I don't really know about things that much. You are quite interesting, aren't you? I think you haven't introduced yourself. What's your name? Alright, we're gonna see what happens if you put your name as Madeline. I see, Madeline. It suits you quite well. I've never met such a fascinating person. Are you referring to me, or are we talking about someone else? Who else am I referring to unless there's someone else besides the two of us inside this tent? Just after playing Froggy Pot, I just wanted to see if I could put Madeline and then see if it would come up with something. Yes, it is only the two of us inside. Of course, I am the only fascinating person you are referring to. This is making me anxious. I hope he doesn't find out that the Countess is just under this table. Ahem, so I'm going to begin our session, Your Highness. Yes, that would be delightful. This is how it's going to work. In order for me to be able to see your future, I must first learn about the events from your past and your present. It will not work if I cannot know your past and present first. Would you be seeing my entire past? Only the most significant events, Your Highness. Is there no other way you can just go straight ahead to my future? I am so sorry. My visions will not work without going into this process. I put my trust in you, and you shall not reveal any of what you're going to see to anyone. You have my word. Is that a typo? I thought it was Lady Madeline. That's not Lady Madeline right there. Just under the table, I have no choice but to deceive the prince. Let's begin then. First, Your Highness, you must shuffle these cards over here. You place a deck of cards into the table. The prince holds the deck of cards and shuffles them just like you've told him. Then you must pick 6 cards randomly from those deck of cards. The prince follows what you've told him. Here. 6 cards that were chosen by the prince are now laying in front of you. Thank you. So, I should be choosing a card that will reveal my past. Your Highness, that is my job. What? Aren't I supposed to be the one to flip a card? Then you would be the one interpreting it. My ability to see visions from whether it is from the past, present, or future can only be revealed if my vital force connects to the correct card. You shuffling and choosing the card randomly allows the cards to link to your vital force and draw out the events that occurred to you. Including the events outside your own experience, it means it lets me to uncover some gaps that you may not know on what actually happened. So finding the correct card relies on my ability. I don't really get it, but do proceed. I will now determine which card determines your past. Uh-oh, I can choose a card. It's this one. The Tower. This is the card you have chosen. You take a moment to let the card's symbols enter your subconscious. Looks like a bunch of mumbo-jumbo. You close your eyes to be able to receive visions from the card. You allow yourself to be able to let the universe talk to you through the card that you've chosen. You're not getting any visions from the card that you have chosen. This isn't the card. You open your eyes to choose a different card. This one on the left? The Scissors. This is the card you have chosen. You take a moment to let the card's symbols enter your subconscious. Close your eyes to be able to receive visions from the card. Is this the right one? Okay, we gotta choose a different one. We're gonna choose the Moon this time. Okay, we're gonna skip. Is this the right card? Oh gosh, what's going on? We're having a really trippy vision right now. A vision has been received. The moon is often represented as one's light being dependent on the other. The light which is only shows at night, and one may treat this either a delight or a struggle. From the prince's situation, this card is revealed through my ability that his past was not as easy as what I would have imagined it to be. His whole childhood was mainly him studying various fields like history, literature, and swordsmanship, as it demanded for every royal blood to excel greatly at scholarly discipline. He has never experienced to play freely as a kid, because he has always been expected to perform similar to a prodigy, just like his older brother. Many always have addressed him as the brother of the first prince, rather than the second prince. He realized at an early age that no matter how much effort he puts in, he will stand inferior to his brother. He believes that he can never have his own light. Did you see my past? Yes. You're quite admirable, your highness. What? Even if the first prince truly shows greatness, you are also showing greatness in your own qualities as well, your highness. Not everyone considers you as his shadow or expects you to be like him. You really were able to see my past. If you're trying to get on my good side, stop it. Someone like me isn't really worth the admiration. I'm just someone carrying the same blood of the prodigy. There are people like me who can see your own brilliance and hard work. You just fail to notice. It just frustrates me that I can't perform as greatly as him, especially at swordsmanship. I think frustration is a good thing, your highness. What? Why? It just means you're eager to make yourself better. Personally, that's really quite admirable. From seeing your past, I see how much dedication and passion you offer to your duties as a prince. I was actually glad earlier. You've addressed me as the second prince without mentioning my brother. I know being too mindful of how someone addresses me seems a bit petty, but it means a lot to me to be known other than being his brother. I'm glad that I was able to bring some joy to you. Is there a chance he forgot what he was supposed to be doing? I really want to help him, but if I expose where the Countess really is, the prince would be really angry towards me. I don't want that to happen. So can we proceed on the next phase? Right, he hasn't forgotten. Yes, of course. You need to shuffle the cards again and pick 6 cards, just like you did earlier, your highness. Alright. The prince gathers all the cards and shuffles them. He picks up 6 cards randomly, just like you have told him to do. There. Now, the time has come for me to see the events from your nearest past up until this present day. Maybe I could learn who really did steal those royal jewels and prove that Lady Madeline is innocent. I will now let my vital force determine which card defines your present. We're going to go for the second one from the right. The Sun. This is the card you have chosen. You take a moment to let the card symbols enter your subconscious. Okay, so we've kind of already let that. Let's make sure it's the right card this time. I'm going to go for the very right this time. The quill. Not the card. I wonder what determines what is the right card. I don't actually know. Okay, we're getting a vision from the scissors. Whatever is in this tea, we need to stop drinking it. It's trippy. The scissors usually hold the meaning of severing one's old self in order to make a change. It may also refer to severing ties or paths with somebody. This was manifested through his life by the events when he canceled his engagement with Lady Madeline. From the vision manifested, I didn't expect to see that Lady Madeline to really sneaked out the royal jewels. My visions were never wrong. They were able to complete the whole picture of a significant event, but I don't understand. She did sneak them out before, but she never claims them for herself. She just hid them on areas of the castle that are hardly noticeable to anyone. It doesn't really make sense. What does that make sense? Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm currently experiencing some casualties with my vision. The vision is quite blurry, your highness. What shall we do then? Can't we just proceed to foreseeing what happens in my future? The present is quite obvious. I'm currently pursuing after that woman who stole the royal jewels. Both of us don't need visions to know that. If the vision from your present is blurry, then the same outcome will occur to the vision I will be receiving from your future. I need some time alone in order to clarify my thoughts and vision. But we don't have much time left. I know, which is why I only asked at least half an hour. Your Highness, you must go back to the castle while I use this time alone for meditation. Once you return, I will make sure that we can proceed to the next phase. Just half an hour, that's all I could afford to give you. Thank you for your understanding, Your Highness. The prince pulls away from his seat and stands up. Then I will be back after I checked my men's progress upon their search. Farewell for now. The prince turns around and leaves. You walk towards the exit and patiently wait for the prince to go at a distance where you can no longer hear anything from inside the tent. Time passes by in silence. You are still checking outside the tent if there's anyone nearby. You notice that there's no one nearby the tent. I think we're clear. Get out of the table and explain yourself. My, aren't you rude? The Countess crawls out under the table. You lied to me. You said you were falsely accused. I saw what you did. My visions can see the truth. Darling, did you see me bring those jewels at my lovely house with your so-called visions? No. I only displaced them from their original location, so I, technically, did not steal anything, my darling. But you are liable for deceiving the royal family, especially Prince Gilbert. It doesn't make any sense at all. If your motive is only to cause trouble at the castle, why did you do it in such an incompetent manner? Incompetent? Yes, why not just displace all the jewels at once? The royal jewels weren't that big at all. You didn't have to displace them one by one each day you visit. It's as if you were deliberately framing yourself to look like a thief. I was. What? Darling, I make it look like I stole the royal jewels. Why? You have nothing to gain from it. You even lost your chance to get married to the prince. Maybe for you, that's a loss, but that's certainly a gain for me, darling. So, you went to all this trouble just to make the prince cancel his engagement to you. I like her guilty face. She's just like, when you say it like that, it sounds really, like, petty. I had no other options. It was the only way for me to escape from my father's control. Ever since I was a child, I was controlled by my father. He discouraged me to make friends with people he considered as peasants. He made me say things that would flatter the nobles even if I didn't want to. He discouraged me to reading books about history and science. He told me the only thing I needed to do was to look pretty and butter up nobles with sweet talk. Growing older, he has made me badmouth other women, including my friends that are candidates to be wed to the royal family. I obeyed him because he always said that it was for the sake of our family's future. As a result, I was able to be engaged to the prince. I don't want to be wed by someone I don't even like. But he wasn't satisfied. My father wanted me to seduce the first prince. I had enough of being controlled by him. He has always valued his reputation more than that of his children. I realized that I should destroy what is most precious to him. I need to ruin father's reputation. I don't care what it takes. But to achieve my goal, I could have paid someone to physically hurt the prince and frame my father as a culprit, or put a more competent scheme to ruin the royal family. I could have poisoned his tea and say that my father ordered me to do so. I have thought of other ways, but this is the most harmless and effective action I could take. I didn't want to hurt or involve anyone except my father. Darling, I really owe you an apology. I wasn't planning for you to be involved. I'm sorry. That's a lot to take in all at once. You were the one who kept shooting questions at me. It's up to you. If you want to reveal me to the prince, I will tell him that I threatened you to hide me here. I know the prince will believe you are innocent. Just don't go and tell him I didn't steal those jewels and my reason for doing so. If you tell him that, all of my efforts would go to waste in ruining my father's reputation. I will hide it under this table for the meantime. By the way, I won't hate you for whatever decision you make. I know we didn't really talk much, but I grew fond of you. I wish we could have met on a better circumstance. I will leave you once you've settled your current session with him. I'll go hide under the table. The prince may be arriving soon. The Countess hides under the table. At least you didn't steal the jewels for real. I'm sorry for doubting you. Now that I know Lady Madeline's situation, I can't really tell the prince she wrongly accused. What should I do now? I don't want to lie to the prince. I also don't want her to be captured. I need to make a decision. You are distressed by the situation. You needed to relax and think of what you should do next, so you decided to sit on your chair. You put your arms over the table and place your head on your arms. This is quite the decision. You would think she could, do something else, you know? You didn't really need to do all that work. I feel like you could have thought of something. It sounds like you had a few ideas. Are you awake now? What? What, did I fall asleep? Yes, you said you were going to figure out the vision, but you just took this time to take a nap. No, I figured it out. Before I tell you what I saw, let's proceed to the next phase. After that, I will tell you everything. Very well, let's begin. The prince sits in front of you and places his hands over the table. I assumed that I would do the same thing I did earlier? Yes. The prince gathers all the cards and shuffles them. He picks up 6 cards randomly, just like you have told him to do so. Are you alright? Yes. I'm sorry for making you overexert yourself. You look very tired. I will pay you handsomely after this, I promise. I'm not really tired. I'm not really sure if I can decide. Decide on what? Decide on which card to choose. The future is really uncertain. It's not like the past nor the present. The future is not really set in stone, so I'm worried. I guess I place so much pressure on you. It's alright, I appreciate your efforts whether you successfully locate her or not, just like how you appreciate me. I mean, my efforts to my duties as a prince. Pick what feels right to you. Thank you. I'll now pick the card that reveals your future, but before that, I must now decide whether to let Lady Madeline escape or tell the prince that she's hiding under the table. Okay, I'm going to save here. I don't know if this is the deciding factor, because some games, every choice you make up until this point will determine something, or they'll just determine the dialogue options. This might just determine the whole thing. I don't know. I will help her escape. I think I will keep Lady Madeline hidden and let her escape. It's unfair to the prince that I kept deceiving him, but this is the right thing for me to do. Eventually, I will send a letter on the prince and where the royal jewels are hidden. I will now pick a card that will reveal your future. I wonder, like, what the meaning in the cards is. Like, obviously, they kind of relate to. Got the moon again. Don't think that's the right one. I'm just trying to wonder why I have to always, like, pick a card. I'm wondering, like, what the meaning behind that is. Like, does it determine, like, the dialogue or anything? I don't know. The sun symbolizes the abundance that will allow for one's brilliance to radiate to every man. The future of the prince portrays a future of abundance, as he will find what he truly seeks and it will bring honor and prosperity to his people. From what I have seen from my vision, even if he will never catch Lady Madeline, he will find something far more precious than the royal jewels. In order to do this, he must search within every corner of his kingdom. If he sets foot outside of his father's land, he will never find it. Once he discovers this hidden treasure, his recognition will be far greater than that of his brother, as this hidden treasure will bring prosperity to the people endlessly. Nope. That sounds like a good fortune. Did you learn where she is? Let me begin by what I saw from your present. Lady Madeline is the one responsible for the disappearance of the jewels. I knew it. But I don't know where she hid the jewels, and your future doesn't include you finding her. But don't stop searching for her, because during your search you will find something far more precious and valuable than that of the royal jewels. There's no such thing that is far more valuable than the royal jewels, and I don't intend to stop looking for that woman just because you didn't foresee it. I apologize for not being able to help you in regards to your search for her, but I must tell you that something far more valuable is hidden in your kingdom. There is a hidden treasure. But in order to find it, you must search for it within your father's land, and setting foot outside of it will make you never able to discover it. Once you discover this hidden treasure, your recognition will be far greater than that of your brother. This hidden treasure will bring prosperity to your people endlessly. I foresaw that you will be able to make your kingdom be the most prosperous kingdom among all others. My vision hasn't portrayed me the exact location of it, but I assure you that it is hidden in your father's land, and it is only for those with royal blood who can access it. If what you say is really true, and if in your vision I have not found her in this land, then it must be that woman would be hiding on lands that are outside of our kingdom. I think that is sufficient information for me to be able to track her and change my future. But do you not want to claim the hidden treasure, your highness? I can promise you that not only it can make your name stand out from even other nations, but also it will really feed and save your people in times of winter and famine. Your vision only claimed that I mustn't set foot outside of lands besides here. Therefore, I must stay here and send my finest men to search for outside. I suppose so. Thank you for your assistance. I know now what I must do. Yes, I am honored to have you, your highness, as my guest. Before I leave, I'm quite curious what's below this table. What? There's nothing in there. The prince bends slightly forward and peeks under the table. You're right, there's nothing in there. I was just making sure that it was only the two of us here. What? She's not in there? How? I was just nervous that my garbage was in there. I see. I have to go now. Thank you for your service. You are free to visit me in the castle if you desire. You're welcome, your highness. Farewell. Wait, is Lady Madeline really not under the table? You peek under the table, but no one was under there. She really is gone. But how? You were so adorable while you're sleeping, darling. I didn't want to wake you. I grew tired of hiding in there, so I kept myself hidden in these hanged curtains and fabric of yours. Wait, what? You're still here? I must say, you really need to wash and clean this entire tent. I had been enduring the dust and smell this entire time. It was really awful, darling. I thought you left without saying a word. Darling, I was planning to leave without any trace, but despite of wanting to be mysterious, I didn't want to leave my darling alone in this smelly tent. Hey, it's not that smelly. Regardless of the smell, why are you helping me? You could have revealed me to the prince, my next hiding place. Well, I thought you didn't deserve to be imprisoned, both by the prince and by your father. I may not have been brought by the same household, but I know what it's like to be not able to do what you want. What you desire doesn't really harm anyone, well, except for your father, but perhaps it may be what he truly deserves. I also just perhaps don't want your efforts to go to waste. And I know it doesn't really make much sense, but it's just what I feel is right to do. Besides, you didn't really steal anything, you actually just sabotaged your reputation. You don't deserve to experience any more cruelty. The Countess walks closer to you. She lifts your chin closer to her face. Darling, now you have done it. You've completely charmed me. Whoa. The soft lips of the Countess delicately brush your cheek. You could feel the warmth of her breath against your skin while your face heats up from the sensations you're currently feeling. You pull yourself away from the Countess since you are feeling embarrassed by her kiss. Why did you do that? Is that some sort of gesture from your culture here? I'm not quite familiar with your gestures yet. It is a gesture or a product of my genuine feelings for you. Pick whatever floats your boat, darling. Speaking of which, you don't have to help me anymore after sundown. I will be getting out of your hair and won't cause you any more mischief. Actually, I will be traveling this evening, and you've caused too much trouble for me. I need someone to carry my smelly tent for me. As you can see, I have a lot of things to carry, and it's quite exhausting when I'm traveling. So, yeah. Are you inviting me to leave this place with you? Maybe. Maybe not. The Countess chuckles. So you're willing to take a criminal to carry your stuff? I am well aware of who I'm asking. It just depends on whether she wants to or not. Are you sure about this, darling? For how long can I tag along with you? The prince doesn't seem to be the kind of person to eventually give up from his duties. I assure you that once he finds the hidden treasure I saw in my vision... Oh, I'm sorry, I just totally... Okay. Hold on. I can assure you once he finds the hidden treasure I saw in my vision, he will stop pursuing after you. You will be free and from both your father's control and your crime as... I'm really flattered that you're willing to go that far for me, but there's a possibility for us to get captured, since you said that the future is still not set in stone. I don't want that for you as much as I would love to tag along with you. You don't need to worry about that. I will read your future regularly. By that, if a certain change from the future comes into my vision, we can avoid it. Don't underestimate my ability to avoid people. I myself have a fair share of mischiefs as well. But it's up to you if you want to. I can carry all of my stuff for myself. The Countess smiles. Why would I ever dismiss your offer, darling? Days went by and the future that you have seen become reality. You and the Countess were able to travel far away from the prince. However, his men were assigned to search through other lands. Caution was exercised by both of you and the Countess as you were regularly reading your future. Fortunately, her future doesn't include her being captured in prison. As a result of the Countess being uncaptured, her name grew with malice, resulting in the reputation of her father to be the talk of the town. They've shamed his father for his failure to properly raise his daughter to be upright and well-mannered. One day, the men were ordered to cease their quest of searching for the Countess. Days afterwards, it was rumored that the second prince was able to find something valuable. They heard it was the power to make both crops grow faster and also win wars. You realized that the prince was able to find the hidden treasure you saw in your vision. The kingdom no longer cared about the missing jewels as what the prince found has a value worth more than those. The Countess doesn't need to hide anymore, and so you've asked her if she wants to go back. The Countess wishes to be free and no longer desires to return to her father. The two of you talked and decided that staying and traveling together both satisfies each other's wishes. The Countess doesn't want to depart from you as she enjoys your company and develops certain feelings for you. Ooh, okay. You also enjoyed being with her and can't imagine yourself anymore to travel alone. You and the Countess grew closer together as time flew by and lived in bliss together. Oh, that's a sweet ending. I like it. The end. Alright, so we gotta play again. Okay, so that was the first ending. So that was, I guess, when we end up with Lady Madeline. So we're gonna see if this just gives us a completely different ending. I will tell the prince where Lady Madeline's next hiding spot. I will keep her hidden for the time being, but once she leaves, I will tell the prince where she will be hiding. I simply cannot favor her too much anymore. It wouldn't be unfair to the It wouldn't be unfair to the prince if I don't help him. Lady Madeline already received tons of help by hiding here. I also won't reveal that she didn't steal those jewels. I know this is the right thing for me to do. I will now pick a card and reveal your future. Okay, so that's not his card. Probably not the scissors. Gonna be the quill? Alright, we're gonna have this vision again. So I want to see if this changes our ending. The quill may refer to one's fate intertwined with expression and the need to form bonds of connection. The vision portrays the fate of the prince being triumphant on his quest, as he would need to form trust relationships with people. As he will be able to rely more on his people, the Countess' whereabouts will be revealed by a merchant who sells extracts from pine trees. Once the Countess is captured, she will not speak of what she has taken nor why she has done it. The prince's dedication to finding the jewels will also make his people take initiative upon the matter. His people will see how cruel the Countess is despite of being in prison, and thus they will offer their assistance. His people will work together and they will be able to find all the missing jewels inside the castle except for one. The jewel, which glows as if it was submerged in honey, will remain unfound, just as the Countess will not be found locked up in her prison. She will be able to escape, and the prince will not be able to capture her ever again. This will make the prince think that his efforts are meaningless, and he will be asked for the aid of the person who had offered him advice. In the far future, the prince will find comfort and happiness with himself. Because he will be able to learn the value of himself as well, he will also develop feelings to this person who gave him not only advices, but also kind words. Whoa, so we end up with the prince? Have you found out where the woman is? Yes, then tell me. My vision shows that Lady Madeline is the one responsible for the missing jewels, but my vision didn't show me where she hid the jewels. I knew it. Now tell me where she is. I can only guide you to your future. If I tell you the details, your future will change. You might not be able to capture her. I can only tell you that you must prioritize communicating with your people, not only with your knights, but also with your servants as well. You must be able to form relationships and deep bonds with your people by offering kindness and showing your dedication. If you are able to interact and converse even with the people outside your castle, including the priests, merchants, and builders, the most important thing is that you must express your need for their loyalty, assistance, and trust, Your Highness. I am sure that you would be able to capture Lady Madeline and retrieve the jewels once you've done this. Trust me, it may not look like it, but doing this will definitely lead you to the location of Lady Madeline. Very well, I trust your words. The prince gets up from his chair. I must try to earn the hearts of my people. Is that all I must know of? Yes, for the meantime. That will suffice. You can also get up from your chair to show respect to the prince. Oh, you get up from your chair. Sorry, misread that. Feel free to come back whenever you need my help. Is there something wrong? The prince walks towards the exit. You could be lying to me right now, but for some reason I'm not having any difficulty in trusting you. You mindlessly walk closer to the prince as your thoughts about hiding the Countess boggles your mind. I thank you for trusting me, Your Highness. How much should I pay you for your service? There is no need of payment. You are the prince. Nonsense. Here, take this. The prince takes from his pocket a small bag of coins and hands it to you. You politely push it away from you. I don't need any payment from you, Your Highness. You don't have to worry. This bag of coins are not silver. They're gold. The prince opens the bag of coins and shows that his bag is filled with gold coins. I appreciate it, but I won't accept it. If only I had not deceived the prince, I would gladly accept it. No, I insist you must accept. You and the prince push the bag of coins back and forth. You keep on resisting upon the prince's efforts, and as a result, you accidentally exert more force to resistance to him. Whoa. This leads for both of you and him to lose balance and fall down. Both of you are staring deeply into each other's eyes. You feel as if time stops in this very moment. You're heavy. As you realize that your body was resting on top of the prince's body, you quickly lift yourself away from the prince. I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to push you down. You really are strong, aren't you? I apologize for my undignified behavior. I really just can't accept these coins. Then perhaps you would like something else from me. Nothing, Your Highness. It seems I have not earned your heart. You were the one who told me to earn the hearts of the people, so tell me what you desire. Very well. I will tell you what I desire once you are able to interact and form bonds with your people. Once loyalty and trust is built, I will ask for what I yearn for. Interesting. Then I shall not waste any more time. For some reason, I'm even more motivated to capture that woman. How delightful. Thank you for your time and service. I will bid you farewell for now. Yes, farewell, and take care of yourself, Your Highness. I must speak to Lady Madeline with that once she leaves, I will not do her any more favors. I want to remain faithful to the prince. You walk closer to the table and peek under it. Lady Madeline, you can get out of the table now. The prince has already left. Lady Madeline, you grab a hold of the fabric covering the table and get a glimpse under it. Wait, she's gone? How? She didn't leave, did she? You quickly search in every corner of your tent as you thought that she had only changed her hiding spot, but the Countess was nowhere to be found. Days went by, and the future that you've seen has become reality. The prince was able to speak and earn the trust of the people. As a result, the merchant you've seen in your visions has revealed where the Countess was hiding. The prince was able to capture and imprison the Countess. As a result of the Countess being in prison, her name grew with malice, resulting from the reputation of her father to be the talk of the town. They've shamed his father for his failure to properly raise his daughter to be upright and well-mannered. Afterwards, the missing jewels were found, but not by the confession of the Countess of their whereabouts, but by the men and the servants. Eventually, she was able to escape her prison and was believed to be able to sneak out with one of the jewels. Frustration and anger filled the prince's mind, and this leads for him to confide in you. As days go by, he begins to bear feelings of longing towards you, as you had always found comfort in your words and presence. He will always find comfort in your words and gestures this person provides him. At the same time, you have formed a deep connection and relationship with the prince. The prince decided to seize his quest to finding the Countess as he valued his time with you. You and the prince became closer as time flew by and lived in bliss together. Oh, there we go. That's kind of a neat ending. You get to end up with either one of them. So I'll just go ahead and give my thoughts, I guess. I thought that was a really nice game. It was pretty short, but I liked it. It was something different. I've never really played anything like that. I like the idea of being a fortune teller and just having like people come to you. I think that's cool. And especially like the principal people. And then I like that you're able to choose whether you want to be with the prince or whether you want to be with Lady Madeline. I don't really think there's like a wrong choice. I mean, Lady Madeline's reasoning is a little off to me. I don't really agree with that, but I mean, it all works out in the end, right? It sounds like he gets the jewels back pretty much either way, except for one of them, I guess. But I really like that. I think the only thing I would drag about this game is that I definitely noticed a lot of like grammar and spelling that was a little off. Mostly grammar, like there was like a word missing in between to like connect sentences, or I don't know, like adding like an ed at the end or something when there didn't need to be, you know? It just like ruined the sentence that way. Definitely things you can just polish, nothing crazy. I mean, overall though, like the story and everything else was fine. I think you have it down. So pretty good for a first time novel, I would say so. I really liked the art too. I thought the art was fantastic. But anyways, guys, that was Countess Escape. I thought that was a great game. I would actually really recommend that. A lot of people, it's really hit or miss their first game, but I can say this was a very, very good hit. Like, definitely make more stuff like this. This was great. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.